I do. That's been going on.
But so now Carnival's new ship, Mardi Gras, that never closed in 2027. It's going to be full at 5
The only reason why I have it came with the condo. I don't pay anything for it. But it sucks when it's not working.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. This is the Town Council Budget Workshop for the fiscal year 2026 budget. And I'll start. Sherry, thank you for attending. I'll apologize. I guess your name got lost in somewhere, so I don't know if that was conveyed to you, but it was. Okay, good. Good, good. There are other committees that need people if you wanted to that contribute more than once a year, so I don't know if they interest you.
I noticed on the other application, you had to write what your experience was. What if I don't really have any kind of experience in those other committees?
Okay, we'll talk about that later. Yeah. Anyway, that's for the next meeting. All right, so, all right, Mike, I guess this is your form, and Jennifer, and all the department heads who are apparently here.
So we present to you the budget based on a millage rate of request of the 6.2388. And it actually ended up being a more difficult budget than I thought with that rate, because we still, after we were done with what all the department heads asked for and everything, had to go through and look for approximately $700,000 to cut from the budget with the increases. We were able to reduce a 48% increase from like our health insurance. We got down to 16%. So we're switching out of the League of Cities to something else. That was a big thing. We did see a small decrease in our workers' comp of like 1%, which was a positive thing with what we're doing and handling our claims right now.
Did we go with the general? I hear he's pretty cheap.
I think that's auto only though.
Oh, okay.
So,
We're not a big gecko guy.
Yeah.
so for Mike, for the health insurance for the town staff, is that equivalent to what we have been carrying in years past?
Yeah, it's very equivalent. I think like the difference is we have a deductible on the one for $500, but we don't have a deductible on the new one. But the out-of-pocket expenses went to another $500 up. So it was $3,000, now it's $3,500. So it's very equitable. Everything else is, and same doctors and stuff. We looked at everything. It's Florida Blue Care.
Mm-hmm.
So it's offered through Cindy with Intercoastal Insurance, which is up in O'Galley, who we've been dealing with for years. She did all other insurances and their insurance previously, even when we went to League of Cities. She's the one that recommended going with that policy because of the rate. So she's very fair in looking at things.
So just in general, we did a competitive search for insurance of appropriate.
Oh yeah, she gives
levels.
multiple different options and stuff, and that's what, when we looked at the options sitting down as like finance director, me and the clerk and stuff, we're looking for comparison, because we don't want to have some of this ridiculous insurance for our employees that don't
Right.
make tons of money, and then they will never go to the doctor because it costs, $5,000 to go to the emergency room.
Right.
So we look for something that, is there. For example, our pocket per employee was $1,004. And then her quote for us from United Health with the League of Cities went to $1,485, and we're at $1,254. It's in the $1,154, right around there. We're a little less than $1,200
That's the town's premium
per
employee per month or per month. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Unfortunately, that sounds right.
Which makes sense. I watched the news last night, and they were talking about some places doing not individual policies, but they were the federally sponsored ones, like 57% increase down to 27%.
Yeah, and are we, do we have, and forgive me if I just don't, having gone through it with my employer, you obviously can do the more traditional healthcare plan, or you can do the high deductible with healthcare savings accounts and so on and so forth? Do we offer those type of benefits with this new plan, or is that consistent with what we have?
We just have one plan because of our size and
Okay.
everything. But we do offer, there's some people that are collecting, they have a retirement,
Mm-hmm.
Chief Maddox, he gets his lifetime from the city of Orlando for being a retiree from there for the May 4th. So instead of him carrying our insurance like some people do, and we have a few more employees like that, we're giving them more money to use towards the supplemental insurances like Aflac and increasing their life insurance and eye care and stuff. They can use that money for that.
Okay. But it's, generally speaking, it is a competitive healthcare plan when you're looking at the total compensation package that we offer our employees when we're trying to retain and recruit.
Yes, I even went out and did, I know what all the other cities are offering, some have real high, and but they have like the clinics and stuff, but, we're not the only ones this year. Even Malabar got hit with a 38% increase from the same thing. They switched companies, and talking to the other managers and things about the insurances. And it's common for the employer to pay 100% in this county, and that's what we do. We're not trying to make them cover any costs or anything like that.
So employee insurance is free to the employee?
Employee gets it for free.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Part of the benefit package, okay, yeah. Yeah, my experience obviously is I have to pay out of pocket for a certain percentage, but I understand that that's a different industry.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we, no, well, that's a different conversation than budget, okay, never mind.
And if you look at the second page of my memo, you'll see some of the major things, like I talk about health insurance and stuff. Our planner, we're looking at professional service or planning, our comp plan amendment next year, it's due, so we have to spend more money than we've spent a lot of money
Right.
this year. It's every 4 years, we gotta prepare and have a comp plan sent to the state. Police department, vehicle maintenance costs went up this year, as we're adding more cars sometimes. Theoretically, it should go down, but we still have the cars we gotta maintain with oil changes and tires and things. We're proposing in the budget to present one patrol vehicle this year, but in the next meeting of council, we're asking to buy another one this year out of this year's current 24-25 cycle, and one next year to the 25-26 cycle. And we have some excess capital money we move around from the capital accounts to pay for it this year, so we get 2 cars for the police department next year, so they can implement the take-home policy cars fully through the department. And then, they're gonna buy radios, fire department, same thing, purchase of a vehicle. The fire chief's vehicle is gonna move to public works, so that's how we kinda usually move down. So and then, our engineering costs bump a lot up with different projects, so we had up that number of public works, especially with all the things we're trying to do around the boardwalk, piers and other projects, besides the normal stormwater stuff. And then we have money that was gonna fund balance forward for South Rowan Avenue, First Avenue, getting paved, and if we can squeeze some extra streets in, we've been really good at paving the last couple of years. We've spent about $1 million in the last 2 years just on paving.
Yeah, I know you and I have talked about it. If you go look at the capital improvement plan we put down a year and a half ago, whatever it was, we are, I'll say, on plan or ahead of plan for at least through 24, 25, and then we're on plan 25, 26, or potentially ahead of plan depending on the budget.
Correct.
Okay, that's good. I mean, I've noticed a difference, at least in the streets that I drive, in terms of the maintenance. I don't drive all the streets all the time, but hopefully, the residents are seeing that along with the drainage.
Yeah. Like the north and south streets are expensive, because they're long.
The long,
streets.
yeah. Do the east-west ones then.
So we should actually have, after that one, so next year, we should only have Palm on north end and Shannon on north end left. So that'll be all the big major streets going north and south, and we're shooting residential streets go east and west end.
And a lot of times we do those just in block increments, right?
Yeah, some of them we do, like this year.
Like Orlando, I
We
think.
had the 500 block, we did the 4 and 500 block, because it made
Yeah.
sense. And it wasn't much additional cost and everything. And we've talked about doing 9th Avenue, which is scheduled for next year. We're gonna see what we have money left and we get it done before October. Then, we're asking for the addition of Orlando Park, the security camera there, and one at Sunset Park, and I think I mentioned, we've been having vandalism like on the benches down Benavente Sunset Park and spray paint damage and stuff. These are exactly the same cameras that are going in up at Nance Park and on Wave Crest. They were just kind of the general fund.
And these are the ones that we authorized you last council meeting to go get,
Yeah,
like a long-term deal?
yeah.
Okay. Because there's like a 3-month waiting list or lead time, I should say?
Yeah, so we started and they'll, do it. I think Chief Cotton can tell you, how far are they on the cameras?
So they're about 2.5 months out. So it'll
Okay.
be just after October 1.
Yeah.
But they're asking that we sign the commitment now
Well, we get
on
a-
a 5-year
Yeah,
subscription.
the price break, the prices are only going one way.
They'll waive all the implementation fees and all that. It does give us a pretty significant savings.
Good job.
The Riverside Kiosk Rental, which is on the meeting tonight to discuss, the money is in there for the pay for that.
Get a discount, by the way.
At a discount,
We'll talk about it next month, or next meeting,
yeah.
in 45 minutes.
So,
Is that going to have any bearing on the boardwalk? The pier, I'm sorry.
so I'll get briefly to the pier, okay?
I heard.
Oh, okay.
So that number, I'm not happy, was like close to 900,000 just for the pier. I met with actually Mike Palasia, who lives in Mount Beach, and he owns the dock company and stuff. And he's been working with Scott Love as our engineer. And he said, yeah, some of those numbers are a little high and come down. So I'm gonna have a meeting scheduled, and I'm trying to get scheduled next week with Scott to talk about these, get the numbers down, and possibly looking at separating, and I talked to the mayor about this, putting the kayaks over in Douglas Park where the seawall is.
Build a pier there, a short pier off of Douglas where there's more parking and a little less serene maybe than Riverside Park, but anyway.
When I got one of those, that option, I actually really liked that, like, personally, and I showed it to the mayor, and that was one of his, that way we're separating the project, because you don't have to have, one's not relying on the other. We could go forward with while we're trying to figure out the funding of it, we could go forward with the kiosk or the kayak launch and stuff. I mean, another location we could put it besides off the piers, there's coming off the wall, or not wall, the rocks at, North Riverside Place Park.
South of where the pier is, yeah.
Yeah.
So seeing there's not a whole lot of parking spaces at Douglas Park, how's the bank feel about, I'm getting like, I know it's echoing. How does the bank feel about residents or visitors parking there after hours?
Adjust you down a little bit here. There you go. The bank on that situation, they haven't said anything. We've had people parking there on the weekends and stuff like that. There's still, about 7, 8 parking spaces there?
Right.
And people can, park across the street, plus we're having a kiosk there to rent them and things.
Okay.
So what we have in the budget right now for the pier and the kayak launch combined?
$450,000.
So we're well short of even just the.
Yeah, we're $450,000 short right now.
Well, I understand the 900K number is a ceiling more than it is an estimate. We would obviously.
Yes.
Sounds like we could come in underneath of that, but still not close to the 450. So we're challenged, it sounds like.
Yeah.
In wanting to do just the pier, we can do the kayak launch as it sits in the budget. It's just we would still be kicking the can down on the road on the pier.
Well, me and the mayor this
Depending upon the
morning.
approach we take, yeah.
This morning, we had a Teams meeting with Jason,
Okay.
Steele, and a couple other cities, along with some state not representatives, but people from the state that we deal with and stuff, asking for ideas how to better these projects for submissions and not get kicked down by the governor and things like that. So that gave us some insight there. I just got notice FERDAP grants are opening into applications September 1st.
Okay.
So I've got that stuff and pulled up to try to submit things, and I've got a meeting next week with Scott to talk about that stuff.
So there's alternatives to fill, there are options, I should say, potential paths forward to fill that gap.
Usually FERDAP's that amount's a 50-50 match, so
Right.
if it's 700,000, let's say that's the final price, then we'd
Right.
have to be 350.
Right, which we've got that in the budget, so we
Yeah.
just have to be mindful of preserving it.
Do we know
Yeah.
why it increased so much?
Yeah, well, a couple of different things. One is the cost of all the supplies. We're looking at moving, from wood, which you don't get the time out, to a epoxy type of situation went from, I think it's Owens Corning Owens, whatever.
Like a resin.
It's like a resin type of situation. Our pier is super wide. It's 14 feet across, which is very, very wide that way. So you're not getting those long boards is very expensive. We're gonna have to replace everything except for the pilings. There's only one piling we know of right now we have to replace going down the pier. So all the stringers, and move them closer, because that's part of the problem, where they're so far apart. I walked down it the other day, and it's kind of scary. I walk on the stringers going down.
It was scary 2 years ago.
So, yeah, and then we've got the portion now where we've got to do, before we weren't looking at any work for the end of the pier where the roof and everything else was in the wood, but it's gotten down, and we need to do that now.
So basically the entire thing, except the pilings.
Yeah.
The roof is not required, though.
Yes.
The roof is, we'd probably be okay on the truss and things like that,
Well, and
but the metal portion and everything,
the metal needs to go as well?
yeah. The metal's gotta go. And then, it's a pretty long area down there.
Big, yeah, and wood's not cheap, I
It's a
know.
good pier.
Yeah.
It's a really nice pier. It used to be. Yeah.
So that's part of the problem with the pier. And we paid, what did we say, Joe, the other day? 146,000 back in 2001. So, show you where prices are going.
Have we reached out to Land and Sea? We got a local company right here in town that,
They would be able to bid on it and stuff. I'm just going off of the engineering when he's been working and stuff. So this would go out to bid. It wouldn't be one of those things. I joked with Mike Kalasia. We had some structural problems going on here. I had to call him in for the town hall building. And he had offered in Melbourne Beach to put a little free launch down there, like a little pier area so they could launch boats, and people get in and out of their boats. And I guess the city they tried some other issues going on, and so they turned down his free offer from what they wanted. I saw from him he could do ours for free.
Did he take your offer?
No, he didn't take me up on that one. But his firm's done a lot of work around here before. They did all the boardwalk repairs and everything else. They've come in at the low bidder and things. So between here and at the dock place over here, we've talked to them too.
Do we have a timeline, do we understand the timeline for a FERDAP grant? Obviously, it's a process.
It would probably be, usually it's after they allot the money, but you got to see what they're being allotted by the,
Yeah, I should know if it's like a 3 month,
Budget.
6 month, 9 months
yeah,
out.
it's probably 6 to 9 month.
Okay.
Kind of similar to what we did with the Mikey Goodwin. That was a FERDAP, even though it was Senator Mayfield sponsored it. We still had to go through, they did the FERDAP. That's why everything worked out for the second phase. We used the money from the first phase to meet our co-match.
So Doug, did you have anything in the budget that you wanted to look at?
No, I mean, we're touching on the main ones. I know, categorically speaking, across the board, I did look through I did look through each of the departments and stuff, and so I'm good with those. I'm curious mainly on the large projects that we are envisioning, both in terms of the boardwalk as we're doing right now, in terms of boardwalk replacement repair, the bathhouse, and then obviously we're moving forward with the, I guess the ideation, if you will, or the concept development
Yeah.
for the
Reimagination.
Reimagination, there you go. Are there any other large projects I'm missing that are not kind of like called standard business and running the town and keeping and maintaining?
No, this year, so we have I'm just double checking here, I'm gonna give you, so I don't give you a wrong number. Like, we put $100,000 in Enterprise One, and that's for professional service. That includes the planning and stuff, so we can kind of get all this stuff out of the way, the pre-cost of everything. So there's $100,000 we set aside in the enterprise budget. Actually, probably, so that's most of that cost coming forward. I'm just looking at something else. Yeah, so
The-
we have a total of 120,000 in the two.
The Sunrise Park, that was all gonna be donated
That's-
money, right?
Raised
I
or
have-
donated, yeah, some kind.
Yeah, the Parks and Rec are meeting on that. They said they could get funding. I have not heard back on that subject.
They could not get funding?
No, they would get funding, but I have not heard back on them.
That was my
so.
understanding as well, right? Okay.
So if money comes, we don't have money for it in our budget for it, but if they can get some type of funds, if they figure out how to get funds and things. Like I know, talking to Jason Steele, he was actually talking to the Ron Johns Foundation about maybe for the kayak and things, getting some money from there. So we're exploring other options out there. And, any money helps.
Right. You do a good job of finding money.
Yeah. If I have money, I can do everything. But yeah, with the major projects, like I said, between the paving and the stormwater and stuff, and then,
How much more stormwater do we have left in terms of the bond? We have spent it all?
oh, we already spent the money.
Yeah, okay,
So the bond money was spent
years ago, yeah.
5 years ago, almost 4 years ago. So now we're paying it back. It was usually a 10-year bond, and I think it was 2019? It was 28, but we didn't get the money until 2019, right? Yeah. So we get the money in 2019, so it was a 10-year bond to pay back, so it'll be 2029. Looking at the numbers, we're hoping to be paid back most of it this year, and so by next year, should be debt-free. We might have to pay a little bit next year, we don't have enough coming in, it all varies a little bit. But we're pretty close to paying it off, we're ahead of schedule paying off the bond.
By the end of 2027, at some point, it will be
Yeah.
paid off.
And then when that happens, that's the extra millage,
That's 1 mil.
the 1 mil that would come off of the property tax rate.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure that would be greatly appreciated by all. I noticed there's an increase in what we're spending for the employee pension.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't want to say across the board, because I think of the 3 plans, is that right?
There's 2 plans, police, fires together,
Okay, police, fire, then there's
general.
and I know one of them is pretty well-funded. Police, fire has to play catch-up, is that correct?
No, what happened last year is we'd overpaid police, fire, so we had a credit, and we were working through the budget, and we had to find some money to cut. We realized we didn't have to pay as much into it as required, so that's why we cut it back, but now we have to pay. We're figuring the numbers on this year.
Okay, so last year we were paying less because we overpaid the year before.
Yeah, we had prepaid in advance some things.
Okay, so this year it's back to normal.
It's back to normal.
Oh,
So you'll see on the pensions, like I said, it's a mandated, it depends on, our plans are really well. The police, fire is really good funded and stuff depending on, and in fact, they are, actuary that was here, and the investment people, is like, our numbers are good, And I think we've averaged almost 8% over the last 20-some years, which is above our expectations.
8%, what?
Average when you take out all the years and stuff. So every year, 8%. So, and general employees are doing much better. It was very, very, when it was first started, it was underfunded because they started it and we had 2 people retired immediately. So they were always in arrears. So it's getting better. It's not up to where the police fire is. And their returns are better. They're like a 6% now. So.
Carrie, did you have anything?
No.
I mean, in general, about the budget?
No, I'm good. I
All right.
I reviewed it, it's good.
A couple just general curiosity questions. We're showing in staff that we're down 11 volunteers in the firefighter. Is that, Chief, what does that reflect?
And I don't know if there was actually, not exactly sure there was actually 16 when we came, but we've had a couple kids that were here that they moved away.
Okay.
We had a couple, one of the young guys, he had a couple children, so he's too busy and he decided to go a different route. So, yeah, so I think when I came here, there was probably more like 8 or 9, I think, and we probably lost 3 or 4. And actually 2 of I say kids, they go to FIT. They're probably going to go to Indian Harbor because they pay them to work down there with some shifts. So we're probably going to lose 2 more at this point, but who knows?
I hear Melbourne Beach is looking.
Yeah, they're looking. They don't want to pay, but they're looking.
understand. Yeah, I know that's not, that doesn't impact the budget. These are volunteers only, but does that, I just saw the numbers, obviously large, not real, it sounds like. It's just an adjustment to reflect reality, so not affecting the performance of the department.
And I think what's happening too, I figured, I didn't hear you said it, but a lot of volunteers will come and be volunteers to get the experience where they're going to the fire academy or
Yeah.
getting their EMT stuff. So you don't have those long-term volunteers for 20 years.
Right, right. So for, going back to the boardwalk, because I know that, obviously Joe and his team are working hard up there. They have been and they will continue, they're continuing to. What do we have in the plan for next year for the boardwalk? Not
So
including any kind of.
we've got the normal money budget in there, but we should be pretty good reference all of our boardwalk area what we repaired. I think there's like 2 more crossovers,
Yes, sir.
so just, which aren't as expensive though.
Yeah, the
on the
new
average.
kind of low boys, if you will.
Yeah, we've been putting them a little bit lower and things.
Kind of like the high. It's a nice
Like the high
view, but I understand, I get it.
So, we couldn't hold off any longer on the stuff from.
No, I understand. I'm
Ants.
just curious if we had plans, because I know the bathhouse, the seal, the cover had to come down. It was,
Yeah, and that's part of the reimagining plans is the bathroom and things.
okay, so we don't have in the budget or in the plans for next year any.
No,
And it's structurally sound.
it's structurally sound right
That's
now,
fine.
yeah.
Just curious more than anything else, since we have the whole team here.
No, it's structurally sound. Probably the only thing we have to take care of up there is the one pavilion,
Right, the big pavilion.
big pavilion, not the little one, the big one. So
Cool.
that's really the only major issue up there right now.
And we're getting rid of I don't think we talked about it, is we're getting rid of the kiosks and going just all mobile or one kiosk?
Yeah, I mentioned that we're looking at getting rid of the kiosk and just going to all pay by app. So when we use the kiosk, besides having to buy the kiosk, we pay a fee for every time they use it. So we pay $3,000 a month to one of the vendors that we have, like almost fees for there. Where when we use the apps, we pay a fee, but then the customer pays a fee and the company refunds us. So it's a less cost for us out of pocket and everything. Plus, it makes it a lot easier. Right now, our parking enforcement has to check the kiosk app. They have 3 different parking apps they have to check before they can see if that car's even validly parked there. So we're trying to make it more into one app. They have one place to check, and then they can make it easier on them to write tickets or verify that that person's paid and not having as many errors. That happens sometimes.
Right.
And there's a delay sometimes too on those. When they pay at the kiosk, there's like sometimes a 10-minute delay, so they might go by and see it. So if they call, we void the ticket out and everything, but that happens, so this should help improve, streamline things.
Well, the corrosion from the ocean is just murder on it.
I know.
And the sun on the screens, you can't see them
See it over there. I haven't
Yeah.
tried to use
or read them. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, when we first went to those, I mean, better than the meters and stuff, we looked at Cocoa Beach. I know Joe and Jennifer and me all drove up there because we had been talking about it and we looked at, that's what they were using. But everybody's going away from kiosks now to pay by app and things. I think even, I saw a news article where they're going to start enforcing 3-hour parking in downtown Melbourne and paid parking and things they're looking at for the same issues. And that's what they're going to go to too.
And we just got our new fire truck and we're already saving for the next one, huh?
Yep, we got money set aside for the next one we put aside. At those costs, I'm hoping $1 billion. That would be nice if it stays around there. But with the days that we've been having and stuff,
And when's that one due?
2031,
So we're planning ahead.
we're planning, I put the money aside.
You gonna be here for that one, Keith? All right. Okay. Yeah, I can't swear we'll all be like here, but I'll be here. I'll let the people decide that.
All right. Any comment from department heads? No? Speak now, forever hold your peace. All right. Comment from public? Come on up, Diogo.
Diogo Drades, 420 11th Ave. What's the rate on that bond? Like, should we pay it off?
Should we?
Yeah.
Well, the money's separated, we're not collecting, the interest rate we're collecting is only like 2% or something like that on money.
Okay.
And it's more than that we're paying on the bond money. I don't know what the exact rate is.
But, so we're collecting 2% on that money, can we just, aren't like T-bills like 4.5%? Could we like, just put it somewhere that yields more than what we pay? If we
No,
pay
because we're
for-
dealing with a loan, basically, a referendum that we went to, and then had to pull a bond money, so it's bond money, and we're using those accounts.
We were restricted to, we were only allowed to pay a certain amount more a year. I think 500,000 was the cap we could pay on top of whatever the amount that we owed. We were allowed to do another additional payment, but I think 500,000 was the max extra we could pay per year.
Yeah,
All
I
in
think
the agreement.
Diego's asking, if you have a note that's paying, or charging you 2%, then there's no reason to pay it off faster, because you can collect that money, save it, put it somewhere else, let it earn 4%. That's your question. So-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Annual, like, T-bills
Yeah.
are at like 4.5%.
Right,
and
right,
if
right.
we're
I don't
paying
know,
something-
yeah, sorry to cut you off, sorry.
Yeah.
The legality of doing that, I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
sure.
what I don't know, because it's
Yeah.
a government bond, issued bond.
And then,
Right.
As a municipality, I don't know if we're able to,
But it still seems like there's like an arbitrage there where you can just like make
Perhaps.
2% on top.
yeah,
of-
but what we're doing right now is we're paying it in there, so the amount that we have in the account is probably like $40,000, because we paid everything off this year. So we've made the
paid
larger,
into an account that's just like,
we paid down on our bond.
okay, all right, yeah, just a thought.
yep,
Thanks.
good question. Thanks, Diego.
And then we get once it's paid off too, we stop charging residents that 1 mil.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to have that all paid off too.
All right. If there's nothing else, meeting adjourned. Town council starts at 6. 25 minutes.
off on YouTube. Well, and we don't see her on YouTube.
Yes.
I hear you now.
Can you hear now?
She can hear now.
Okay.
Okay. Oh. Kristen, you can see now too? No. Okay, she hears but doesn't see. What is it doing on YouTube? Okay, do you have, is there something on this, like where that needs to be open?
It's gonna show us, I think.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. It'll just be a few minutes. We're working on some technical issues on YouTube.
She's on mute right now. Let's see.
Can you check video? Here, go and make sure we have the right camera.
That's right, didn't we have to do something?
Yeah,
here?
Black Magic Design. Oh, did it click on it?
Yep, so I just gotta switch this, hold on. See yourself, hold on. Hey. Okay, we're working on it right this second. Yep. We get our video and we got our audio, so.
What's on YouTube right now?
She's on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
Chris, well, now it says Margaret Emlich on YouTube.
Is that what we want on YouTube right now?
We want,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get that. Because I got this now and it shuts off.
okay, so that is there.
Okay,
All right. Are we,
we're good there.
So, what's on YouTube right now?
Yeah.
I don't think there's enough media.
No, we're up on, that's YouTube live.
Okay. All right, everybody, we are ready. We'll call the meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, couple changes to the agenda. We've added 2 items, which is the B6 International Association of Firefighters Agreement. That will be at the end. And the and item E4, which is a new Police Explorer. That will be also
Sale of the old.
sale of the old wrecked Police Explorer, right. Presentations, we have a large contingency from the Eastminster Presbyterian Church with a proclamation. Let's see, where, it's over here. All right, whereas Eastminster Presbyterian Church was founded in 1950 and has 75 years of faithful service to the community, whereas nestled between the Atlantic Ocean and the Indian River Lagoon in beautiful East Central Florida, Eastminster Presbyterian Church has faithfully served as the church on the river, opening its doors to all with warm hospitality and unconditional love. And whereas Eastminster Presbyterian Church was founded in 1950 with its first sanctuary located at the corner of Fifth Avenue and Riverside Place, establishing a spiritual cornerstone for the growing community during a time of rapid development alongside the rise of the Space Center. And whereas for more than 7 decades, Eastminster Presbyterian Church has continued to deepen its roots in service, worship, and compassion, caring for its members, engaging actively in the community, and reaching far beyond its walls to make a difference in the world. And whereas the church remains dedicated to glorifying God, enriching relationships, and building a vibrant future through its ministries, missions, and weekly worship services, inviting all who seek faith, fellowship, and purpose. And whereas Eastminster Presbyterian Church exemplifies the spirit of unity, compassion, and hope that strengthens our community and inspires generations to come. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town of Indialantic of Brevard County, Florida, does hereby recognize and honor Eastminster Presbyterian Church for its 75 years of faithful and spiritual leadership. Done, ordered, and adopted in regular session this 13th day, August 2025. Pastor, I understand you have a couple words to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, step on up.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and friends of Indialantic, I am the Reverend Dr. Rob White, and on behalf of the wonderful community of Eastminster Presbyterian Church, I thank you for this proclamation and for honoring 75 years of ministry and partnership. I have not been there the entire time. I am especially grateful for the privilege, though, of serving as the senior pastor for the last 2 years. It has truly been the joy of a lifetime. Eastminster and Indialantic exist because of one another. Our histories are intertwined, and I know our futures are bright together. And because of Indialantic, we are who we are today. Your people have become our people have become your people. Your stories have become part of ours, and vice versa. Together, we have built a place where faith and community meet, on the shoreline, in the sanctuary, and in the heart of town. Surely all of you would agree our campus offers one of, if not the best, sunset view in all of Brevard County. For decades, we've hosted concerts, picnics, weddings, and memorial services, moments that many of you have shared with us. But more than the view or the events, what makes Eastminster special is the people. In an age when polls across the community and across the country can say and often suggest people know more about what churches are against than what they are for, Eastminster is the opposite. Eastminster stands as a beacon of hope, embodying love through worship, through missions, and through the programs we share, all in an attempt to reflect the love that we have in the God that we serve. Some churches may claim to be conservative, others liberal, but in a time when division is common, sometimes even expected in churches, Eastminster chooses a different way. We are united in Christ, not divided by difference. What is a stereotypical member of Eastminster, someone might ask? Well, the answer is simple. Look in the mirror, and then look at your neighbor who votes like you and your neighbor who doesn't vote like you, your neighbor who loves like you and your neighbor who doesn't. At Eastminster Presbyterian Church, we strive to live out the commandment Jesus called, to love God, to love ourselves, and to love others. Here's to another 75 years of continual partnership. And as we say every Sunday, it's just that simple. Just that hard. Thank you.
And I believe, isn't the renaming, Mike? In the meeting, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so later on in the meeting, we will be voting whether to rename Eastminster Way, or Riverside Place, Eastminster Way.
It's a very suspenseful vote.
Right. I have a good feeling it will pass, but yeah. And we'll get some pictures with the pastor and apparently me. All right, moving on. And the Eastminster folks, you don't have to stick around if you don't want. You're free to go. But you're welcome to stay. All right, see ya.
Thanks, Jake. Thank you.
All right, public comments, non-agenda items. Persons wishing to address the town council on a matter not listed on the agenda may speak at this time. Speakers must provide their name and address, observe the 3-minute time limit, and speak only after recognized by the mayor. I have 2 cards here. One, Miss Kitty Lowe.
Hello again.
Hey.
Sorry. I do have to play not 3 minutes of the video, but I do need to play some of this because this is, oh, Kitty Lowe, 411 3rd Avenue, Indialantic. This is in my neighbor, several neighbors' backyard. We have a gym that opened up 10 months ago now. So this is what we hear. I don't think you can hear it as well.
I want you to press into your toes and then think about straightening your legs as if somebody has a string on your low back and you're pulling.
There is music now playing in the background. Amplifying. It's not supposed to be.
All right, so I'll make sure I'm watching you guys over that. Just do the whole one. Right here. 5, 3, 2, 1. Okay, great. And then we're going to finish with those side step press. And weights on your shoulders. Here we go, last one. Side step squat. Pencil overhead. Good for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the left leg where it is. Drop the right knee down. And we're going into fire hydrants. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Good, you guys. Straight.
Okay, that's just a little bit. It goes on for hours every day and in the evenings. So I'm here, just to try to figure out if we've heard things that maybe the town is trying to do something to help us out with this, but now they're playing louder music. They're yelling louder to get over the loudness of the music. So I'm hearing it in my house. And my son just graduated college, and he is at our house whenever he wants to be working, and he lives there. And this is very distracting and very, my husband and him are being bombarded by this music. The loudness is not supposed to be in a professional zone. The amplified music is not supposed to be in a professional zone, and you guys, we all know this, so. I'm hoping that what we were told somebody is working on to help us out, because this has been going on for 10 months now, and this is an everyday occurrence, as you all know. And then there are definitely people working before hours and after hours. And then that's not even just my backyard. Sherry's backyard is way worse than that. And, the whole row of neighbors are still not happy with the situation, so.
So Mike, where are we at on that?
So we had a complaint recently of their pergola they had built, and they took it down, and they're looking at permitting with a pergola and stuff, but I haven't seen any recent police reports and stuff and complaints on.
Well, that's because when I've called, I haven't been, it hasn't been as welcoming as I thought. Yeah, it's fine, and I don't want to take them away from that so much to where they have to come there for, amplified music, which we all know that needs to be addressed. If they're having amplified music, it needs to be addressed to them. I can't do it because I will be shut down quick. Because he does not he put a cease and desist order against me. So I'm trying to do it legally And that's what I'm here to do. If somebody could help us out, try to get this, at least the music cut for now. I don't know, if anything else is going to ever happen, I don't know. But the music is not supposed to be there. It's amplified.
Like I said, who's unaware there is music back, we can have Cliff, our code enforcement building inspector. He can contact the owner, talk to him about the music and stuff.
That would be great.
Okay, Cliff?
Thank you, Cliff.
All right.
Okay, so that, and then if something else about the whole gym being in a professional
Okay.
zone, that should also be addressed as in, it's 10 months.
All right, thank you. Diogo.
Hi. Now that we have some lawyers here, I wanted to talk again about the bond. It's
Yeah,
not-
name and
Oh,
address.
so sorry. Diogo Adrados, 420 11th Ave. The bond that we still have outstanding, which is like, I think it was over $600,000 that we still have to pay of that?
I don't know the dollar amount. It's not $600,000.
Oh, okay.
And real quick, for
Yes.
context, he's referring to the bond for the stormwater drainage that we did several years ago.
Yeah, I don't know the exact numbers. I don't have that information present with at the meeting and things. I don't know the interest rate or anything like that.
Yeah. So I think it was around 3%. So the question was, at the very end there of the statements, was whether the fact of it being an ad valorem debt thing, where we have to keep charging the citizens a mill for the duration of that bond, right? So if we pay it down quickly, we can remove that mill from the tax of the
Correct.
town. But if we have the bond funded, could we, via just like statute, could we just pass a sort of a millage decrease to match? And then we would just make a free $10,000 a year, depending if the numbers are what I believe they are.
We're talking two different things. We're talking our ad valorem tax, which we wouldn't want to decrease it by 1% because.
Right, but we have an additional mill for the bond.
Correct.
Right, in the life of the bond. So if we just keep that mill, we could just take a mill off otherwise though, right? Like if we have that bond funded with just treasuries that we have invested.
That money has been used specifically for the bond.
It is, yeah, that ad valorem tax for the 1 mil has to go towards the payment of the bond. It can't go anywhere else. So I think what you're asking is if we paid the minimum amount that we were required to on the bond, and if we had a surplus of that fund, could we then hold on to that and use that surplus fund to generate additional revenue?
Yeah,
Through an interest-bearing account or some T-bill or something like that. I don't know the legality of that with regards to the bond.
Or call the bond complete somehow and then sunset that millage.
No, we can't continue to charge once it's done, I'm sure of that, because that was, yeah.
Sure, but once it's done, I mean, once it's paid, but before we've paid, but have it funded. If we have it funded completely in an account that has like just T-bills in it.
I think that would be, it's something I think we talk offline, with the town manager, have a meeting, and finance director.
I'd have to do a little more research and get with, the attorney's not prepared for this or anything too.
I just wanted to bring it up in front of a couple of attorneys.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you. And housekeeping, town attorney Kristen, she is with us remotely, as we can see. She is a little under the weather. We hope she's feeling better. I hope so, Kristen. But she is stepping up to the plate to cover her duties here. And John Brady is out of town, so he's not here. Anybody else? Non-agenda items? All right. Public announcements. There are openings on the following boards and committees: local zoning and planning, budget and finance, civil service, and code enforcement. Town hall will be closed at noon Friday, August 29th, and Monday, September 1st for Labor Day. Qualifying period for the 2025 election cycle started last Thursday, August 7th, 2027 at noon, and ends tomorrow, August 14th, 2025 at noon. Qualifying packets are available at Town Hall and online at Indialantic.com. Consent agenda. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
I'd like the motion to approve the minutes of July 9th.
Is there a second?
I'll second the consent agenda.
All in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, carries 4-0. Ordinance public hearing, ordinance 2025-05, first reading, public hearing continued from the July 9th meeting relating to the comprehensive plan future land use map at 53 Tampa Avenue and 63. This also is 2025-07. We can do these together, right, Mike?
Yeah,
For
I
discussion.
think Chris and they do them separately, don't they?
For discussion, though, we can do it?
For discussion, you'd need a separate vote.
But you can do them discussion together in separate vote.
Yes.
So, yeah.
All right, so this is also 1501 South Miramar Avenue. And if I am not mistaken, if these two fail, the other two are moot, so we don't need to discuss that, correct? And for the record, because of some social media, I guess, chatter, I want to make a few things clear. Carrie, do you own any investment properties within the town limits?
I do not.
Right?
No, my house.
Yeah. Doug?
No.
No. So nobody on town council owns anything, any investment properties that would sway this vote one way or the other. Anyway, is there a motion for ordinance 2025-05?
I'll make a motion that we would approve ordinance 2025-05 and 2025-07 for discussion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. I'll get it out of the way. I haven't changed my position. I taken the, I guess, the opinion of the planner who recommended against it. If this was something where it was only, or if it didn't affect other residents and only, helped the property owner, I'd be okay with it. But it does have the possibility to affect other residents. So I am not in favor of it. So I'll make it short and sweet. Doug, you got anything?
I'm similarly opposed. I know we kept an open mind, and I appreciate the dialogue. And we had the last council, so just remind everybody that this is the process. The process was they applied, it went through zoning and planning. It was zoning and planning recommended not to approve, but as a recommendation, town council, it was always coming to town council. The fact that they asked for it doesn't make it wrong that they asked for it, so that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But overall, not in favor of it in the end state. Generally speaking, residents I've been in touch with, vast majority have been against. I know there's been a circulated petition of residents that have signed that said they were in favor of supporting the request. I can't speak for if they were informed fully on the implications of granting the change because of the rezoning would make that a T-zone, which then imparts all of the benefits of the T-zone, albeit with restrictions with regards to what the size of the lot can do. And so any restrictions that are placed on that through any covenants would not convey to any future use, for whether with the current owner or new owners if the lots were sold or consolidated beyond the current parties involved. I know that there's also I don't know if it was tongue-in-cheek, it's hard to say, but there are other parties that were asking, well, if this passes, can I have this extended to my house? Because I would like to make some of the short-term rental off revenue to pay for my property in taxes and insurance. Because of, and those aren't going down either, as we've all familiar with. So generally speaking, I mean, this is not something we could ever undo if we come back and decide 5 years from now that, hey, we really didn't like the outcome. Once this is done, it's done. And so it's a one-way street. So, and for all those reasons, and nothing personal, I'm not in favor of approving the amendment or the ordinances in front of us.
Brett.
Just as a point of order from a practical standpoint, is this discussion kind of moot?
Can you turn your mic on?
Oh, it's on. I'm just not close enough.
Oh, sorry, I can't hear anything.
Is this almost like a futile discussion at this moment and vote since John's not here? Because I have a feeling we're going to end up deadlocked. So do we want to go through this process twice? At this meeting and another meeting?
Well, we'll vote tonight, and we can vote. And
then do it again? Because
well, there wouldn't be another vote, though.
there's 4 of us here.
So what would happen if, If we do vote and it is not a 3-1 decision either way.
Or it's 2-2 right now.
Well, that's what that's what I meant.
Town attorney could probably, Kristen? Could you hear them?
Yes. Obviously, if the vote is 2-2, it does not pass. So that would be the end. There's no second reading on something that didn't pass first reading.
I have a hard time believing that's the actual outcome if there's not a council member here to have a majority vote.
Carrie, what do you think?
I've been conflicted from the start on this, and I have read through every piece of paper that came to me and all the public comments, and I have to make a decision not based on emotion. I have to decide what's best for our town, and I'm a no.
That's easy. Cool, now I can speak my mind. I think that there, from a practical standpoint, and I'm just gonna, warn everyone now, if it gets sold as a single-family lot, I think you're gonna come to find that it's not as beneficial as what you think it's gonna be. I think you're gonna end up getting a property owner who's gonna become very territorial about that and the way that it's abutting up against the public access area. Whereas if you have, as they were doing with the multifamily restrictive covenant, that was gonna limit it to the 3 units that they have, replacing what they currently have. As a multifamily space, it's not reasonable for the owners to come in and believe that, they have like kind of a territorial claim over this area. I can fully see that happening if it's a single family lot ownership. I think it's gonna be less beneficial from a practical standpoint of everyday beach use access. And here's the other thing is, so many of you townspeople are opining on this and they never go to that beach. I go to that beach probably 4 nights a week and walk it with my family. So it's something, granted I am moving, but it is something that is, very near, dear, and personal to me. So big picture view, I believe from an actual practical standpoint of how it will operate and work, it would be more beneficial to kind of keep the use as it is now. You'd be maintaining, you'd be better maintaining what we have now than if it actually ends up getting redeveloped as a single family property. Additionally, on top of that, because of all of the zoning restrictions that they're gonna have to deal with, no matter what it is, even if it's single family, it's gonna get all kinds of variances. The point of that is that everyone has this concern that, oh my gosh, this is gonna spill over and be a domino effect. There is no legitimate, reasonable basis as an attorney that you can present to a judge to try to say that because they did this, now I can do this on a traditional single-family lot that's been that way forever. These parcels are extremely unique. I don't think that many people are grasping exactly what the situation, that there's actually 3 separate parcels, one of which is like 13 feet wide. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, you wouldn't have a reason, like an actual straight-face argument that you could make for the property just to the south to say, oh, so we want to become tourists. Third, if you think, it's crazy to me to be like, people are, this is not any sort of discussion about it going to the west side of A1A. How is it going to all of a sudden be more detrimental if there is already the tourist zone right across the beach there at Tuckaway Shores? How is it going to be any more burdensome if that is just, boop, right there, it's applied? It's all the one same space at a public beach access area. These fears are unreasonable, in my opinion. Hopefully, it doesn't, offend people that, I state that so bluntly. But it's just, the tourist zone is on top of that section as it is on a 3-story high with probably 20 units in there. So if we're talking 3 units, capping themselves at 3 units, which would be the best they could do pretty much anyways, development-wise, it's not gonna be this huge change of how that area functions or is used by the residents or others. So that's my thoughts on it. It stays as is. Not cool with it.
Thank you. Public comment. I assume most people on this list are against it. You're still free to speak. However, don't know if it's needed, but you're welcome to. We'll start. Gary Letchworth.
Hello, thank you for your time. I'll be brief. I'm Gary Letchworth. I live at 301. Gary Letchworth. I live at 309 South Shannon Avenue, and I am against the rezoning for these parcels. I've been born and raised in Florida and on Brevard property for over 30 years. I've seen a lot of how things change slowly and then quickly, and I've followed the discussions in the previous meetings, and I think, the zoning committee assessed this. They gave it a fair shake. They met on it a couple of times, and they stand with what they had recommended. The staff looked at this and recommended not changing the zoning, so I fully support that. And I live here in the neighborhood, and I love it like all of you that live here. So, and I do not want it to be rezoned to high density tourist. It's a fundamental change in the character, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Janet, I'm guessing you're related.
Thank you for the opportunity. Yes, Janet Letchworth. Gary's my husband. I'm at 309 South Shannon. I too oppose it. I really do believe there is something unique about Indialantic. I grew up in Indian Harbor, and in the early 60s when the beach was as native as it could be. And I treasure that. I treasure that the town of Indialantic preserves that, and it stayed a community that's intended for single families and for permanent residents, and not the weekend visiting. So that I do oppose it. I do think it has been given a fair voice, a fair hearing through 2 zoning and planning boards. And I appreciate that the council has that ultimate decision. I have not read every piece of paper as thoroughly as I'm sure you have, but what I read even says that at the July council meeting, if I heard it correctly, it said go back and work this covenant with the staff and find an agreeable solution, but I read that the staff, even after those covenants have been drafted, do not support it still. So I just feels like an overwhelming consensus that this is the wrong thing to do, and Doug, as you said, it's a step that we won't be able to reverse. So,
Thank you. Don Hess.
Don Hess, 1515 South Miramar. We're a couple of properties down. We're on the beach side. We go to the beach every day that we can, so we see it. We see the effect of tourists. We see the effect of residents. Not all residents are wonderful, and not all tourists are bad. Yet, our observation is short-term tourists tend to be a little less responsible for our environment. And why should they be, after all? They're just passing through. We oppose it. We think it's not a good idea. We appreciate the zoning and planning, their recommendation to you, and we are firmly opposed. Thank you.
Thank you. Joy Hess.
I really want to thank you, Doug, and Mark for, hi, Joy Hess, 1515 South Miramar Avenue, Indialantic. I really want to thank you for your open dialogue and engaging with the people in the town. Like we said, my husband said, we live 100 feet away from a tourist zone would be really detrimental to us. We've been here, we bought the property over 25 years ago. My family's been here since 1960, and we've seen like you said, once the lid's off, a can of worms, you can't put it back. And we've seen that if you go north you can see how devastating just one little condominium, and all of a sudden they're all of them. And, you know, I think the pretense of nonconformity, the house has been there, the property in 1501 has been there for 75 years. They built the homes back then with the environment and the weather in mind. You know, our house has been there for 40 years, and it's still standing, you know. They're solid. And so to go to the extreme of changing the zoning so that if someone's house might fall in is pretty a radical solution. I think, you know, when that time comes, things might change and can be addressed at that time. But I really appreciate all of your time. The process has been very transparent and open to the community, and we really appreciate having strong leaders here that can make the right decisions for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Jacob, you want to go? You can go.
Is there more people?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to let them go first, by all means.
Okay. Jim Vedic. Jim, yeah. You are Jim Vedic, right? Yeah. How could I forget?
Jim Vedic, 110 Melbourne Avenue, Indialantic, Florida. It sounds like you guys are not going to approve it anyway, but it's like everyone else said so far, a can of worms, putting toothpaste back in a tube, it's not going to happen. It's just starting a snowball that's going to keep going later on when you guys are gone. Someone else might have a different idea, and then just one little step, and then pretty soon the tourist zone just keeps moving. I'm pro STR. I would love to have my house zoned in a tourist area, but that's not the case, and that's not where I moved. You can't pick and choose who gets that. They knew where they were when they were moved in there, whatever it was. If it was multifamily, that's what it is now, and then when they get, if something happens, that's when it should be addressed, not way beforehand. Nothing may happen. There could be never a problem that place needs to be rebuilt, so. That's my opinion.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Mary Benjamin.
Hello, I'm Mary Benjamin, 301 Tampa Avenue, and I am opposed of this discussion, and I do live west of the property. And I do have to say, I do believe it would affect those of us living west, and there's many here speaking against it also that live west. It is a public access. I do go to that beach often. I bring my children and my grandchildren, and adding the extra tourists, they may not be aware that this is sort of a family access. So there are some concerns with that. It will change the character of that beach access. And I appreciate your time, and I am opposed of it.
Thank you. Dick Dunn.
Dick Dunn, 330 Tampa Avenue. My concern is that we have 3,000 residents in our community, and it has been guided by the comprehensive plan what happens within the city limits or town limits of Indialantic. So the zoning and planning committee has looked at this issue in detail, and they have recommended that, or they have indicated that it violates a number of issues within the comprehensive plan. And in my knowledge, going back to when I returned to Indialantic, the zoning and planning committee has never been overruled by the town council. In addition, the I lost my train of thought here. The town planner has also looked at this and has indicated and recommended that it not be approved. So I think what we need to do is listen to the people that are most knowledgeable about these issues, and that has this will have a potential adverse effect on many, many people potentially in the community. So my recommendation is that we adhere to the zoning and planning and the town planner. Thank you.
Thank you, Dick. All right, Jacob, or real quick, anybody else not on the list? All right, Jacob.
Hello, good evening. Jacob Mosley, 1501 South Miramar. First things to address, Starbucks was actually voted no by the zoning and planning, but approved by the town council, first off. Secondly, I hear some comments coming from citizens concerned about, I live at 309 Tampa, and I go to the beach, and there will be a detrimental change to that beach access. This property actually worked as an Airbnb for several years, has had 0 police complaints, 0 noise complaints. The concerns about the tourism zone encroaching upon the Hess's property at 1515 South Miramar is somewhat comical to me when I hear, that Dijon is having another fundraiser that's going to go until 2 a.m. and use my front yard as a valet, and I'm not even notified until I come home and see people there. But I don't hear complaints about certain things in this capacity about the town. When it comes to the staff report regarding this covenant, I will be blunt. The staff is asking for things when a voluntary covenant is voluntary. When you ask for landscaping requirements as per the LDC, for something to be bonded to a property's deed for 20 years to another 10-year incremental period in perpetuity, these things change in a very short-term period. Whether the landscape buffer is increased or changed through the type of acceptable landscaping, qualities, you have a Zen garden, etc. And when it comes to the concerns regarding the alternative uses within the tourism zone, as I did read the reports provided by the town staff, it seems as though they have misplaced their concerns on things that are not relevant to the present conversation and the scope of the discussion we're having here. What we're discussing is rezoning the property to make it conforming. We have not asked to build, we have not asked to change, and if you guys vote to deny this, the property will stay as it is, which is still a multifamily in a single family home, and I can go and occupy it at 91-day periods with people of my choice, which will not change the aspect of it, whether it was an Airbnb or not an Airbnb, what have you. I believe that what we have done through this process, which was initially recommended by town staff, I believe Mr. Casey was the one that recommended it to my mother. Many people have received a lot of misguided interpretations of what's going on here, what the intentions are, what the outcomes will be. And I feel that people, unfortunately, myself included, always jump to the worst conclusions. And from what I've seen and what I've heard, and the reports that I've read, which I have to say I believe are erroneous, I'll use the zoning and planning board's terms, thank you, Edward. I think that there is a big discrepancy between the reality and the scope of this argument and the way that people have argumented, interpreted, and perceived this. So I appreciate you all for taking time to sit down with me, those of you that did. I appreciate you for hearing me out. I would have looked forward to having further, more stimulating discussions to see exactly what it was that you were looking for, because in the last meeting, Doug, if I'm not mistaken, your concern was about increasing development in that area and density and preventing that. The covenant addresses that. It prevents those concerns. I believe Mr. Miller had concerns about constituents and individuals in the community discussing things in a capacity that would go against what his initial intentions were for the property, which was to alleviate the nonconformities to it, not to allow the property as per the high density rezoning, or the small scale amendment to the rezoning to allow up to 4 units. We even put a limit on that to 3 so that he could quell the concerns of people talking about the changes of density.
When it comes down to it at the end of the day, the application as it stood was compliant for what it was requesting. And at the end of the day, what the town had done is argumented, interpreted, and misconstrued what we requested into something greater with fallacious arguments and hypotheticals about landscaping, about 20-unit apartment complexes that the mayor was joking about on Nextdoor, and other erroneous things that unfortunately have taken people away from what we're really looking at here today, which is taking the unicorn that is 1501 South Miramar, 1 year younger than our town, and making it a conforming and tourism aspect of the property, of the town's comprehensive plan, which it should have been from the start. So with that all being said, I appreciate the town for taking the time and spending the money and man hours on doing their due diligence. And if you guys want to push it and take more time to reconsider, that's all on you, but at the end of it, it's up to your guys' decision. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. All those in favor of approving ordinance 2025-05, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nay.
Nay.
All right, failed 1 to 3. Ordinance 2025-07, that is the same, relating to 1501 South Miramar. Is there a motion?
We made the motion? We made the motion, yeah.
For the first one.
Okay. I'll make a motion for 2025-07 to approve the ordinance change.
Is there a second?
I'll second it just for a clear vote.
Right.
All right. Anything to add?
No.
Public comment?
I'll make a clarification just for the sake of it, but just so people understand that the restrictive covenant they were offering, that couldn't have been undone if they sold the property and there was a new owner. Normally a restrictive covenant is something that runs with the land, and so therefore it doesn't matter to the owner. This restrictive covenant, the way it's interpreted, it actually becomes a matter of law. So it's even stronger than something that just runs with the land. So if they were to sell it, it's not like it would all of a sudden go away. You actually have to follow that termination procedure. It's here nor there, just a little legal nuance point that the world I live in, so I gotta make that clarification.
Thank you. Public comment. I already did that. All right, all those in favor of approving the yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
Jacob Mosley, 1501 South Miramar. Just one final thing to add. Doug, I appreciate your evaluation of the submitted petition and your questioning of its efficacy. If you read the language of it, it states exactly what it was approving of. So I just want to add that point of clarity.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving ordinance 2025-07 say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. All right, fails. All right, so that makes the next two items a moot point. All right, ordinance.
Thank you.
Thank you. 2025-09. First reading, public hearing relating to the Eastminster renaming. Ordinance changing the name of North Riverside Place to Eastminster Way, providing for implementation, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date. Is there a motion? Huh?
Sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't have the words.
I move to approve ordinance 2025-09.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comment from council?
It's a good idea.
I thought it was already done.
I did too.
We already have the signs.
I thought it was too.
So,
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
We already had the sign posted. The public works director was ahead of it, but we had to get the ordinance passed first.
yeah.
Yeah. Is it Second Avenue? What is it? It's just going to the corner.
Second Avenue is the corner. So it's only going from the road that goes north and south.
Okay. The one with the stop sign that nobody stops at?
Yeah.
Okay.
The shortcut.
And it would be, we wouldn't put the signs up, it would be in time for the celebration, but it would have another reading in September 11th when we move.
All right. Public comment? Anyone? All right. All those in favor of ordinance 2025-09 relating to Eastminster renaming, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, unanimous. Unfinished business service agreement with Rent Fund. Real quick, it's in the packet. Rent Fund, the guy who gave us the presentation, reached out and said, hey, if you guys, or the price is going up, we don't know much, or we don't know how much, probably from 35 to 40. You guys, basically, no obligation signing. We'll do it at 33, and what's not in the packet is the revenue share. Instead of being 30%, it's 35%. So that is what that's about. There's no obligation. If it doesn't get approved in the budget, then we don't have to, we can get out of the agreement, or, and we don't pay on it until it's installed, or November.
He said until it was installed on a phone call.
Right. And for those here who don't know what we're talking about, it's a kayak rental kiosk, self-serve, that we're looking to put somewhere on the river, either Riverside Place or possibly, Eastminster Way.
It's also paddleboard too, though, right?
It could be paddleboard, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not just kayaking.
Yeah, and we could, it could be a mix. Or new discussion with the town manager, possibly building a separate pier at Douglas Park and make it specifically for that. So that's what we're discussing. Is there a motion to approve the service agreement with Rent Fund?
I'll make the motion to approve the service agreement with Rent Fund.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All right. Any comments from Carrie?
I have one question.
Yeah.
Would it stay at Douglas Park if we put it there? Because I'm assuming it's being diverted to Douglas Park because of the pier delay.
No, the pier delay, well, it could be part of the pier, or it could just be separate anyway. So,
We can move it, though.
right, yeah, it can be moved wherever.
Yeah.
So,
Then we'd still have that dock at Douglas, right?
yes,
Yeah, if we go forward with that.
right. And I mean, the agreement is for 8. It's actually 2 sets of 4. So you can put one over here and one over there. So it doesn't really make a difference. So does that answer your question?
Preference as to the different locations?
I know we talked about it last meeting online, social media. Some people were concerned that it would, disrupt the peace and quiet of Riverside Park. There were some other concerns. I personally, I kind of like the idea of Douglas Park because there's already some parking there that is clearly parking. The parking at the Riverside Park isn't necessarily delineated. There's not a great place to put it there, without being too far from the dock or from the pier. So this way you can kind of place it a little closer to the pier. But
I think it's a good Douglas Park's a good alternative.
yeah.
It would come right off of where the seawall is over there.
I was gonna say, how would we envision the actual access to getting in the water? Are we gonna?
It's gonna have a kayak launch.
It has like a walkway going down a small little.
Like a little wood thing or something that?
Depends, there's a couple different ones. There's ones that are made of aluminum that goes down, and then you have the kayak launch where you put it into there's like a little holder for it so you can get into it and push yourself out.
Okay.
There's a couple different ones.
Just meaning people aren't gonna have to take the kayak or the paddleboard and take it down the seawall.
No.
They do come off a ramp.
Eat it.
There's a ramp.
Right. Whether it's part of the pier or standalone, it will be its own kind of pier with a launch on it.
And it's ADA compliant, so you, just like no jumping down and things like that. So somebody could push a wheelchair down there and get into the kayak or whatever device.
I guess my only concern, and we voted on it, so I'm okay with going forward with it notionally, was we don't have the pier there or at either location right now. If we get these installed, we don't have a pier for 6 more months, just because that's how long it takes to get it put in. What does that look like?
Well, we decided to go with a kayak like in Douglas Park or even in Riverside Park, separate from the pier.
And we
We
don't have
have-
to answer that question necessarily here, but it's.
Oh, no, it's just ordering it would be.
No, I know, but if, I mean, put it in Douglas Park, there's no pier there, and you got 3 feet down to the water line. That's impractical.
Well, I think we'd wait to install it till we had something.
Is there an option to like?
Yeah.
Sign up but have a deferred date? I don't know if they allow that.
Oh, yeah.
Within reason, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's a prefab type of situation you
Oh,
buy
like
at
an
a
old-
kayak
yeah.
launch, so it's not one of those we
Oh, the
get down
kayak
and build.
launches?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I sent the mayor a link with a couple of them. I don't know if he's had a chance to review them and stuff, but that's one of the ones I was referred to by our engineer, and I also spoke to Mike Kalasia with, I forget the name of the dock company's with. He was in here, like I said, and I talked to him about it, and he actually gave me the link to this website.
So just reading this again, so we'd lock, if we agree tonight, we'd lock in the fee at 33,000, a one-time fee, or is that 33,000 annually?
No, that's a one-time fee. It's renewable after 5 years, but we don't owe anything after 5 years. And it's a 35% revenue share versus 30%.
So we get 35% of the, not that we're.
Right, we're not gonna make a killing on it.
Make money off of it necessarily, we're trying not to lose money on it. And then, is there an annual? I thought I saw an annual on here.
I don't remember an annual, but
Is it a one-time? Because I thought I saw there was a,
Thought it was a one-time fee.
for some reason. Okay.
Yeah, we get 35%.
Okay, I may have misremembered that. Okay.
Yeah, compensation only says 33,000.
Upfront.
It did say November 1st, by the way, so $33,000. That's the only obligation we have.
I'm sure once we have a deposit down, they'll be happy to hold on to the kayaks for
right.
Yeah.
That time.
Anything else?
And then we get to pay, I know we talked about this prior, but if we wanted to get, we could change up the mix of it.
Correct.
If they see the usage patterns.
Right.
So on, or we get special requests.
Yep. Yeah, if we bought only 4, you get 4 kayaks. If you buy 8, you can do a mix of single, tandem kayaks, paddle boards.
Okay.
So, public comment. All right. All those in favor of approving the service agreement with the rent fund, say aye. Aye. All opposed. All right, discuss and approve rescheduling September 10th, 2025 budget hearing and town council meeting to September 11th. This was requested by staff because of a scheduling conflict with the county and or school
We're
board.
not allowed to have a budget meeting on the same day as the school board or the county commission. The county commission now moved their meeting to September 10th, and the school board already had it scheduled for September 9th. So we're proposing moving the whole council meeting and everything to the September 11th date.
Yeah, what kind of box in there?
Yeah. You guys good with that?
I have a conflict, but I can work around it.
Right, you're good? Yep. All right, done. We don't need to vote, right?
I believe you have to have a vote on it, just
Okay, we'll vote.
have it strong.
Ordinance, right? Is there an ordinance when our town council?
Because the town council has to approve it. That's why it's.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we move the September 10th, 2025 town council meeting and budget approval to September 11th, 2025.
All right, public comment? All those in favor? Carrie. All those in favor of approving the budget hearing and town council meeting for September 10th to September 11th, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, unanimous. New business, discuss tax exemption for low-income seniors. Mike, you did a little research on this, right?
Yeah, I've done research on it, and basically, the county already gives a $25,000 exemption for low-income seniors, and that number is pretty low. It's like $33,000 this year on income. It adjusts every year a little bit and stuff. And we're like one of the few cities that don't do it in the county. We could give an additional $25,000 in exemption for our ad valorem tax and stuff. And with that, there's currently 22 residents that do claim it in the incorporated area of Indialantic, I found out by doing some research. And based upon the $25,000 in our current millage rate, or proposed millage rate and everything, it'd be less than $4,000.
Total between
This year's
everybody.
millage rate was like 3,200 and some change.
Right, and that's combined, anybody who could apply. in
That's
the town.
combined, anybody can apply.
Doug, any comments?
No, I think it's a good idea just for the folks out there in internet land. It's, you have to be 65 years or older, valid homestead exemption, household adjusted gross income of no more than $37,694 in 2024. It'll obviously change for 2025. And you have to file your limited income senior exemption application and income affidavit with Brevard County property appraisers by March 1st. So you get an additional exemption. So I'm for it.
Brett?
Yeah, no comment.
I'm okay with it.
So what do you need from us, Mike? Is a vote or just consensus to join?
I guess
or-
we do consensus because we'd have to have I believe, an ordinance on this, Kristen. Correct?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, just that's okay. So yeah, just to consent and we'll have the ordinance proposed
Okay, so
or prepared.
there you go. All right, discuss the crosswalk. Somebody reached out to me, and I know town, I don't know if everybody got it, requesting an additional crosswalk at South Miramar Avenue and 11th. This has to go to FDOT. The only thing we can do is request FDOT to do a study. I don't know what y'all thought of adding another one in.
Yeah.
One more.
So,
I mean, it's unfortunate the gentleman passed away that was last week, a couple weeks ago. Not that this is directly related, but yeah, I don't see any reason why not to, especially if the residents are for it.
so I just need a
And there's
vote
not,
of the
and there's not one like right adjacent to 11th Avenue on 12th or 13th
Right.
or 10th, so.
Right, it's 8th and 14th, and I mean, they're never gonna be activated at the same time, and even if they are, right, slowing down through Beach Town isn't the worst thing. Brett, any comment?
No, fine with it.
Carrie?
How close is it to the next one?
8th and 14th.
Yeah.
Kind of halfway.
It's a major crossing too, because there's a side street goes all the way through.
Yeah.
So we'd put one at all the streets that cross between Miramar and Wavecrest.
So you just need consensus to reach out to FDOT?
If you all can make consensus, then I'll put that in there, just that, I'll send a letter to the Secretary of FDOT for the 5th District requesting it.
Okay, you guys good with that?
Yes.
All right, knock yourself out.
Just say everybody still needs to be really diligent about waiting until the cars stop.
Yes.
Yes.
Cross. Somebody yelled at me yesterday for crossing. I cross at 1 every day with my dog, and somebody yelled at me for hitting the button and stopping traffic. This is why we can't have nice things.
Exactly. It's a beach town, slow down.
Yeah. All right. Item E3, discuss the purchase and installation of security cameras for Orlando Park area and Sunset. Chief or Mike? Chief's busy. Mike, what you got?
I can explain it. These would basically be the same cameras that council already approved for Nance Park and Wavecrest. Same flock, not license plate readers or anything, just security cameras at 360 PTZ. And we've had, as we know, vandalism down at Orlando Park on the pickleball courts. And there's been a little bit other, but mainly the pickleball courts and stuff. So this would record and it picks up motion and everything else. So at nighttime, and if there's motion there, it knows, and it can send alerts and things like that and be monitored by our communications center. The same with Benavente Sunset Park. We've had damage, people throwing benches down there and paint damage and things, because there's nothing, it's so dark down there, people don't see things, and who knows, some people shouldn't be doing things they shouldn't be doing down there. So we're proposing to, and it's in next year's budget, to have that down there, and we can start the process, and that way they'll be ready in like 3 months.
Bundle them with the ones we're do we get like a discount by bundling them with the ones we're putting in at Boardwalk? Nance?
They will, if we go ahead and sign the agreement, as the town manager said, the payment won't be due until after the final installation, which will be about 2.5 to 3 months into the next fiscal year. And then they would waive all implementation fees and it would be a 5-year subscription. They would lock us in at that price. Last year, the cameras went up an extra $500, but because we committed to the 2 up at the enterprise cameras, they knocked the $500 off of that and the implementation fees also.
I didn't realize, I saw the brochure, I didn't realize they were flat cameras. So just for clarity, they have no capability of anything else. It's not like it's a software
facial
upgrade.
ID.
They're security cameras. They're not. There's no facial recognition. They're not license plate reader cameras. They're like a home security camera that's constantly recording, but they'll alert us if something is in that area. When the park closes at 9 o'clock, then we can. If anybody enters it, it'll alert us real time, and then we can monitor it.
And those other functions aren't just a matter of software. The cameras just aren't physically
No, they
capable.
are strictly security cameras.
Doug?
Good.
Brett?
My only concern would be at Orlando Park, just because there's so many private residences in that area. Like, how would the positioning of the camera be? Because I would be curious to know what those that live around there, if they want to be recorded.
I mean, I know, I have some cameras as well. You can normally set exclusion zones in terms of like motion activity. Obviously, that doesn't exclude recording, as the field of view would record everything in the field of view, but that's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, I was all for it at Nance Park. It's a very public place, right?
Right.
Same with, at the end of Fifth Ave, right there at Wave.
Sunset Park, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the other one, but I mean,
Yeah,
the other
Wave
ones we
Crest Park,
approved.
yeah.
Was that, where, the other ones at Wave Crest and Fifth?
No, at, Wave Crest and like right entrance to Nance Park right there.
Right.
And then all the way down by the playground.
Yeah. So those two are very public, like, there's really no expectation of privacy. I understand if you walk outside, you're in the public, so, you have a limited expectation of privacy, but, I know that I run out to my truck, in my underoos, early in the morning to grab something out of it, before I've gone to work and such, so, just the residents in that area might be a little sensitive to, having government-recorded cameras in that area. So I would, Sunset, it doesn't look like that's an issue because it's just, and sadly, I've never been there.
There's high walls.
Yeah, exactly.
Walls on each side.
Looks like there's a lot of privacy there, and it's just a long, narrow area, dark area, right? So, it makes good sense. I would just, for Orlando Park, want to be very, specific about how the location is, down on the park, and we're not really catching residents' homes or
Front yards on
driveways.
the other side of the street.
Yeah, exactly.
I assume they can be added at a height, kind of looking down and not catch neighboring.
No, they'll be on a 15-foot pole. They're going to 20-foot poles later in next year. It's what they call a breakaway pole, but it is a 360-degree pan-tilt zoom camera, and the zoom is about a quarter of a mile.
Our intent is where it's going to be placed at. We're recording most of the park because we'll be recording from west to east from where the location would
We're
be.
focusing mostly on the basketball court, pickleball court areas and stuff like that.
Playgrounds.
And the playground, yeah.
It's going to go where the new little place was
Pump
built
house.
to the
Pump house.
powerhouse and there. So it was shooting kind of
Pretty
everything west
central located in it.
or east.
And then it's three. Is it one of those things where it's like, I know at my office, the Ring camera, I can kind of, like you said, set exclusion zones, but does it?
Normally that's for motion detection,
Yeah, that's motion
not for
detec- not for
recording.
blurring.
It just
Yeah,
it
to
just
say.
records what's in the field of view.
It'd be cool if you could be like, oh, make this blurred.
Chief, do we know if we have that capability?
It does not.
I
It's
doubt it, yeah.
a security camera.
It's tough.
Carrie, did I ask you what you had to say?
It's just.
Sorry, Brett, I didn't-
We wouldn't, are you finished? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. You go for it.
It's just kind of sad that we have to even think about adding 2 cameras for Orlando Park. We've never had to have it before until people started vandalizing the pickleball net and the benches. Sunset Park. So I would encourage the police department to, when they catch these vandals, to make them pay restitution to help us pay for these cameras. Because the only reason we're having to put these additional 2 in is because of vandalism. So.
Public comment? Yep, Jim.
Jim Vadic, 110 Melbourne Avenue, Indialantic, Florida. I didn't know this was going to be part of it. I'm not a big fan of those being in the park, any of the park. I mean, how much property was, or what was the cost of the damage so far? Do you guys know?
So in Orlando Park, for the 1-year period, from last year to this year, we had 1 call of 6 juveniles fighting and videotaping it. This is Orlando Park, videotaping it to put on social media. 1 kid got pretty significantly injured. We ended up taking multiple juvenile arrests out of that. We turned it over to a civil citation. So we've had that. We've had about 1 call involved about 6 or 7 vehicles actually driving through the park, very close to the pickleball area. We actually had to get Joe to make sure that nothing was damaged on that. We've had the net stolen. We've had completely stolen. And then about a week later, we had it, the net was cut. So I'm assuming that they were caught, something interrupted them from actually stealing the net again. One of the calls is we had a large snake in the park. It was a rubber snake of the non-venomous type. Wasp nest. I mean, so we've had.
Cost-wise, though, I mean, damn it, like you guys are talking about vandalism.
Yeah, Joe.
Do you guys?
Plus, the residents there that live next to the park have complained about homeless people in there, and this would catch the homeless people also. So.
They can't be that tricky.
Well, but that's one of their complaints about us doing things there.
I mean, like, my boys are grown, I rarely go to the park anymore. I just think it's kind of, I don't know, it doesn't seem like, I just guess I don't want to believe we need it.
Yeah, I hear you.
What's the cost on the cameras?
They're $5,000 each.
So another 15. This is from the same company?
Yes, Flock.
15 a year?
It's $5,000 a year per camera.
Per camera. Is there $15,000 worth of damage a year?
That,
I mean, so you're not, I don't know.
that would be $5,000 for the camera in Orlando Park and $5,000 for the one in Sunset Park.
Yeah, I'm just saying, throughout the town, is there the vandalism that you guys are having to the stuff you have to repair?
I'm not, the vandalism, I couldn't give you a dollar amount. I can look it up, but we've had other issues in there, obviously, with people fighting and things like that, too.
Yeah,
So
but you
it's-
caught them without needing the cameras.
Was that?
You caught them either way. If you had the cameras there saying, oh, they're in there fighting.
We had a police officer just happened to be in the right place at the right time and rolled up on the kids fighting in the park. For the same time period for Sunset Park, we had a drug deal gone bad there that involved about 6 or 7 different people also, where a firearm was thrown over a fence.
That makes sense. Oh, just sucks.
Yeah.
So check out Melbourne Beach. Melbourne Beach has a very extensive camera system, security camera system throughout their town. I mean, much more than what we have. To include the restrooms at Reichman Park, just the restroom entrances and things like that. So they have them all over Melbourne Beach. Not that what's good for the goose is good for the gander kind of thing, but it's the time that we live in.
It sucks.
Yeah, it does. I agree.
Plus, it would help with liability claims too, because sometimes we don't have footage and somebody says, we've laid like a few liability claims previously, not in last year, but in Orlando Park, but like in Nance Park, we paid money up there where it's what they said, and back in the last month, we've had 2 different settlements that, reach over $100,000, actually over almost $300,000.
I guess I'm just being whiny about it, sucking. Sorry.
So, Chief, who has access to the video cam, the security cam footage?
That'll be real-time monitoring at my comm center. As I stated, for the ones on Wavecrest Avenue, it would be very limited access. Would not give it to the officers, so they wouldn't be able to sit there and watch the cameras. It would be going to my comm center. That's my 3 minutes. And the supervisors would have access to it also.
And then as far as data retention,
30 days.
and then if it doesn't get pulled before 30 days, it just gets,
It gets overwritten, correct. But we would have the opportunity to download the video within that 30-day period because we would own it.
right.
And unlike the license plate reader cameras and stuff like that, we have the ability to share that with other agencies. These would not be shared with other agencies at
Okay,
all.
that's kind of my next question. Can any of that be FOIA'd or requested for?
There's always the FOIA issue, but yeah, so the LPRs, we do share with other agencies. It's kind of a reciprocal thing. But these cameras, I've already told. I talked to Lieutenant Weber because we get alerts of people wanting to get feeds, and I'm selective on what I share and what I don't. These will not be shared with other agencies.
Dave.
I'll ask in private what I was really going to say. A quick question of Chief. Dave Berkman, 225 8th. Can you prosecute over the video?
Yes, if we make an identification of the video, we can prosecute, certainly. It's a tool, it's evidence.
Julie.
Julie McKnight, 607 South Riverside Drive. I don't know if you already asked, does it have audio?
It does not have audio.
It does not have audio. And I might have missed this as well. Does it only record at night, activate at night, or does it monitor during the day as
It
well?
monitors 24/7, 365 days. But again, it's like a home video camera that's constantly just running, and it'll send an alert if it gets something in that area. And then when the park closes at 9, like the town manager said, we could set up an actual zone at the pickleball court or the basketball courts. And if anybody enters that, it'll actually alert and start to follow and give us a real-time, information and video of where the person's going and stuff like that. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other public comment? All right.
I have another comment, though. I mean, this is something I would really like to find out the property owners around Orlando Park, like their opinion. And not to bring up the old issue, because I know it's a sore subject, but with pickleball, it's different in the sense that this is a public park. The whole town, right, is going to use it and such. And when you buy a property next to a park, you assume, you know what I mean, the possibility of a new normal park activity going in, right? So you may not like it, but it's, so to me, just because you don't like it doesn't mean your opinion gets extra weight in that scenario, because you bought next to a park. But I don't think when you buy next to a public park, you assume that I'm gonna be on, my front driveway is gonna be on government camera.
It is,
know what I mean?
like you said, though, it is public space in the
I
front of your
agree.
house.
I agree. But again, you guys know I'm the civil liberties guy, so privacy, I would just really like to find out. I mean, if the majority of them are like, hey, yeah, we like it for the safety, we see shady characters there at night, and we would feel better, that's great. If they're like, I don't want to be recorded, having a family gathering or whatever it may be.
Or cutting the
Really,
pickleball court.
Yeah, there's, I think, 1, 2, 3 on the north side and 2 on the south side, 3 maybe if you count across
3 on the south side.
Caddy corner.
But it's gonna get the caddy corner problem.
No, you're right, it will. Although the tree might block it.
It's right here.
Yeah.
I mean, legitimately, because the ones to the
there's-
west have a lot of
There's,
shrubs.
I walked that
Yeah,
pathway, you can't see them.
So it's 1, 2,
And then the
3,
east, they just
4,
tore it down,
5,
so eventually that'll get built back up, but.
That house
9,
there
10,
on the
11.
corner has a huge,
Yeah.
super tall.
Right. It's
So-
about 11 to 12 properties.
Your point is valid, or your concern is, I think, warranted in that, maybe it doesn't warrant him having a veto over it, but
Right, of
certainly,
course.
certainly giving them a heads up and having a discussion with them is.
And I'll personally make that visit to folks.
I think that would go over much better than like it showing
And
up one
I
day and then they
certainly-
find out about
yeah,
it after the fact.
I certainly appreciate and support civil liberties and Fourth Amendment and all that stuff, and I'm very, very careful about that kind of thing. But I would submit they're actually getting a free security system.
Right, fair enough,
too,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
but-
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you're offering, I think it'd be great if you
Yes, sir.
reached out.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, 'cause I think it's more just a notice thing, 'cause I can see this type of thing being like, people are like, what happened? There's, you know,
yeah.
I didn't know about
Yeah.
this. It's like, not everyone's checking the agenda every week.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Thank you, Councilman.
Well, and
Yeah.
if something happens bad, like the fight or the
Yeah.
theft of the pickleball net, you know, I would encourage those residents to, if they have their own security cameras,
Right.
to, you know, volunteer that. I mean, I've been asked a couple of times for police to look at my cameras, because we had a theft in a car right across the street from me.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I would do that voluntarily, but I think if we can encourage the neighbors to help our community police that area as well. I mean, I don't understand why the pickleball net keeps getting damaged and stolen. Actually,
Right.
I do, but I don't.
So Mike, what do you need from us?
Can we approve one of them, like, right off the bat right now, and then revisit the other one, or, I guess it's a contractual thing, so it's easier to do it all at once?
The rep, I'm sure it could be done. The rep that I've been working with has gone back and forth. He has to take it way up a chain just to give us the agreement that we currently have for 5 years where they don't do the implementation fees and things like that. And I actually have a meeting with him in anticipation one way or the other tomorrow via Zoom, because he's over on the west coast of Florida. So it could be done, but it would require me to go back to him and then him to revamp what we're doing.
So it'd just be easier if, you're saying, like, if we just punt it to the next meeting so that you can talk to the residents, we can get a feel for that and then make our final decision, or?
It's your call.
Well, I'm just trying to think.
That doesn't change the contract, though, if we did that, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, then that's probably, as long as it's like a no-cost issue, I think that's probably a good idea.
Well, this
Battery did?
Battery died?
This agreement is based on the caveat that if we agree to both of them on that 5-year term, that they'll waive the implementation fees and the installation fees.
Is there an agreement date, though, associated with it?
You're like, we have to approve it.
Right, like, if we waited a month.
I
we
have
still
the
get that.
documents already sent to me via DocuSign, and that's what I sent to the town manager a couple weeks ago. And I keep getting reminders about it, but he's on board. He knows that we're having the meeting tonight. He's been very easy to work with, and he's just anticipating our call tomorrow, one way or the other.
So I appreciate the perspective, and I think a discussion with the residents is appropriate, but I wouldn't necessarily give them a veto. I would like them to have their voices heard, but absolutely, because I think ultimately it's the council's decision to make that. As a minimum, I think we should go, if we vote to approve them here tonight, and I'm comfortable with having you go and talk to them directly to let them know that that's the motion we're taking, and if they vehemently object to them, have them come talk to us. We can always, in this case, we can back it up if we
At least
decide that that's incorrect.
At least after a year, right? I mean, we could always remove one. So.
You can move it somewhere else. I mean, you can do, there's certain things. So I would be comfortable with moving forward with a vote to approve tonight with the expectation that the chief will go talk to them within the next reasonable timeline to let them know well in advance of anything being installed, such that they can have questions answered appropriately.
And these would be the solar, so they would be easier to move if we chose to put them somewhere else at a later time.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, if we approve tonight, but then we decide, oh, we don't want it in Orlando Park, no big deal. We can just move it to another spot, say down Wave Crest or something like that. Right.
You can also add the caveat on, too, that he should research to see if there is exclusion zones.
Yeah, or you can like shorten the distance so it's not as far.
Well, not distance, but like, if it's, like we can exclude outside of the street on Orlando.
Doesn't go
or
high.
Ormond.
It just doesn't, you
All
limit
right.
the travel of
Kinda
the
like
camera such that.
Kind of like your personal camera, you can set out exclusion zones, so it's not,
So it sounds like we're all in favor of approving the two for now, correct?
I'm
in favor of approving 2 cameras, but I don't want to commit that one of them
Right.
is for sure going to be in Orlando.
So the 2 cameras we're good with for now. Yeah. All right. Is that good, or you need a vote?
That the payment for year one is not due until installation of the final camera, so that may also give you some leeway on making a decision.
Plus, if you don't have the satisfaction, like I said, it is, even if we do have 2 cameras, we can decide, I know we have other places we can put the cameras.
And once we do sign, they start doing site surveys, they start doing, if there's permits, but of course we own that property, so the ball starts rolling, so to speak, so there is some money into it already. So that's
Okay.
part of the agreement.
Yeah, I mean, we're good with the 2 cameras, and then
And I support,
figure out the
I
rest.
support, generally support the location. You can put on your best PR and talk to the residents. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So do you need an official vote?
Yeah.
All right. All, public comment? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation or the request from staff to add an additional 2 security cameras, 1 for Sunset, 1 for Orlando. Well,
Placement can be done later.
with,
Yeah, I like the caveat that, yes, if we all agree on Sunset, that's fine, but as far as to be determined on whether or not it'll be in Orlando Park.
so I'll amend the amendment, say Sunset, the motion to approve for Sunset Park and Orlando Park or another suitable location.
To be determined.
To be determined.
I'll second.
All right, public comment? All those in favor of approving 2 cameras for Sunset Park and possibly Orlando Park, say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, 4-0. All right, last item, approve the 2024 Ford Explorer Police Vehicle number 11 RIP for sale by auction.
So, steal the microphone back so you guys can hear me. So, currently, there was trying to purchase, I said in the budget meeting earlier, I don't think Councilman Miller was here, but we were trying to buy 2 new patrol vehicles next year, and that way we could implement the take-home policy and stuff. We've recently had one of our cars that needs a whole new engine, which is $13,000, and with the budget where we had to cut money out of the next year's budget, we had to find some extra money. I took that car out of that budget, and we were able to, the finance director and myself, going through the budget, found capital money we had in different counts, We had some building maintenance money left and things like that. So we were able to scrape the money in this year's budget, and we'll do a budget adjustment into the right items. But we can purchase this year. They have 2024s, and they're holding them for us. They're in stock, and we can get them right off the bat. They're brand new, haven't been driven anywhere, and they're gonna give it to $61,000, which is cheaper than we got the last ones, and it's a better grade Explorer. It has the EcoBoost and things like that, so it would even be more.
Molly?
This item is reference selling surplus auctioning the crashed Ford
wait.
Explorer.
We already had the other one, okay, I'm
Yep,
sorry.
they already
That
passed
was on
the other
consent.
one.
That's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry,
you're on a
yeah.
roll.
I'm sorry, this is I got on hold, position. I didn't have to. This is to sell the vehicle that was totaled out, and we had a choice if we give it back to the insurance company. We got the same amount no matter what from the insurance company, or keeping it, and we're gonna list it for sale and surplus it out through Gov Deals, and probably looking at the thing, and some of them are getting $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, it's got a good engine and things.
Doug? I mean, I don't have a
Surplus
problem with
it.
it. It seems, I mean,
Yeah, just-
what else are we gonna do with it?
We recouped our cost out of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Now we get the last little bit out of it, so there's no more purpose. Let's get it out of the way.
We took parts off it already too that we could use for the other vehicles.
Yep, I'm in favor.
Brett? Carrie? Public comment? All right, is there a motion to approve the sale of police vehicle number 11?
I'll make the motion to approve the 2024 Ford Explorer Police Vehicle number 11 for sale by auction.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, there we go, done. Kristen, you have anything to report? Nothing? All right. Mike, you got anything?
Me or him?
No, you.
Real quick, the Isaiah of Public Works, he's retiring after 20 years here at the end of the month. We're gonna try to put something together for him.
Yeah.
So the end of the month, he's,
Yay.
so yeah. I had something else, but I forgot what it was, so we can, that's it for now.
I probably don't have anything to report. Jug?
I just want to highlight a Space Coast Honor Flight. If you're familiar with that organization, they take veterans up to the Washington D.C. area on a day trip, all in one day. They are doing 3 flights out of Melbourne Airport, starting September 6th, October 11th, and November 8th. So they leave at 4 a.m. in the morning, a little early. But what they're looking for is residents to be there on the return flight, which is between 8 and 10 p.m., to basically give them a rousing welcome home in Melbourne Airport. So it's very convenient for residents within our area. See the website, Space Coast Honor Flight, for more information. So I hope to see you there.
Brett?
Nothing to report.
Carrie?
We did not have a South Beaches Coalition meeting this month, nor a Space Coast TPO, so I have nothing to report.
All right, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Meeting not adjourned. Hold on.
Oh, there was Cliff.
Point of order?
Sorry. The building official has an item to present to you guys.
Just kidding. You guys can sit down.
Shake us.
It's
Cliff
not
Stokes,
church
building
in here.
official. It was in your packet about the setbacks for the pool. I do want to move forward with the fence height, lowering of the fence, but the setbacks, I think we need to leave that to the Board of Adjustment. We had a meeting a couple of weeks ago when somebody requested a variance, and it was just too close and too much elevation difference in the house behind it, and they carefully considered it and rejected it. So this would be detrimental. It could possibly be very bad. If something is newly developed, that's where the problem comes in. To totally alleviate that problem, you would have to build the house on a stem wall, where you could leave the elevation as it is, but we can't do that. As building officials, we cannot say you have to build it a certain way. That's illegal. So I think the board does a good job of considering those things, and I think we need to leave it to them to do that.
I know I spoke with Vinny Toronto of the Sustainability Committee, and he was the one that brought it to my attention. And, because people are building houses up like this, if the pad's up here and the original older house is down here, all that water runs off into their neighbor's yard. And it's a bad day, so I think it's a good idea not to do anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Cliff and I spoke on this matter, so we're good.
right.
For the setback, keep it the same and letting the Board of Adjustments handle it on a case-by-case basis, as we have done for the last 40, 50 years.
Brett, Carrie, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I spoke to Vinny too, and sounds like, the broader issue is about pervious surfaces and such, so.
Right.
They said they're working on Sustainability and Resilience Committee, I think, is working on something for that, to.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
So is that something that we need to go ahead and put on formally for discussion?
I think we need to work on an ordinance, Kristen, just on the fence.
Okay.
Yeah, just the fence, yeah.
Yeah.
No change to the setback, so no work required. So close, so close to the.
Yeah, I know. All right. Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you, Kristen. Hope you feel better.
Yeah, feel better.
Thank you, I need it.